So my name is Sam, and my role in all of this is I am the grandfather of Sorrelle, who you guys at Manchester City came out to meet in 2016 when she was on a leukemia ward battling cancer.
Great, and fast forward to today, what was it like seeing Sorrelle surprised by the Carabao Cup trophy?
Well, you guys did it again. You were incredibly kind all those years ago, and you did it again. And it's about making little dreams happen and spreading a bit of kindness and smiles. And today, being able to see that with Sorrelle after what she's been through, and in fairness, what she'll continue to go through for the rest of her life, warms my heart for sure.
Now, taking you back to the start, when you think about sort of Sorrelle's diagnosis, what's the sort of first moment that sticks with you?
When she was diagnosed, my first thought is based on my age. I lost my father to cancer when he was 47 and I was a teenager. And so if you are my kind of age, the only thing you associate with cancer is death. And those were my inner thoughts, those were my inner feelings. To then have the professor explain that remission was a possibility and that there was a treatment, and you start to realise that you try and play your role. My role was that of court jester, keep the kids smiling, keep my daughter smiling as much as she could, even though there's a horror going on in front of her. And I didn't realise, if I'm honest, that things would actually end up going as well as they did, which sounds strange to say. But the only day that we thought we might lose her was actually nothing to do with the leukemia, but was a dreadful virus that she had as a result of the treatment and having to have a bone marrow transplant and having no immune system. We came closest to losing her on that night than we did with the leukemia. So those thoughts are always with me.
And during those years in and out of hospital, what was it like supporting, Sorrelle and the family? You said your daughter as well.
It's my role, and when I wrote the book, and I make sure in the book that I talk about everybody has a role to play. It was futile to think that I could cure cancer. That wasn't my role. My daughter just needed me to be dad. My granddaughter needed me to be grandpa. And as long as it was those things, which I'd been for years, everybody else had a part to play with those other things. And so that was what I needed to do. I just needed to be dad and grandpa.
And I see you wearing a t-shirt as well.
Yes.
Can you give us a little bit of inspiration behind the title?
Yeah, so Small Boat in a Big Ocean. So the title comes from the song, Fight Song by Rachel Platten. And it was in the charts at the time that Sorrelle was going through her treatment. And there is a line in it that is very close to this. And it seemed it was appropriate because of the song and it became my daughter's anthem, but also because it kind of described exactly where Sorrelle was at. She was this small boat in this big ocean of leukemia and trying to navigate her way through it. And so it really resonated. And then the book, is ultimately made up of 69,000 words of messages that were sent to family and friends about her condition, about her demeanour. And it was only after she came out of hospital that I considered turning it into a book, and now the royalties of that book are donated to those oncology wards in perpetuity. So it will be there long after I'm not, which is a nice thing. I'm glad we did that.
How does that make you feel, knowing that through all this kind of the horror, there's going to be something that lives on way past yourself, Sorrelle, everything?
I think ultimately it's all we can do. I think that one of the dangers is that you try to do everything. You try to be as good as you can be, believing that you have to do the most. And the reality is that if every single person did just a little bit, and we then added it all up, just imagine what difference that could make. And so my book is an attempt to do that. I didn't for a moment believe that after just 14 months it would be where it is, and managed to achieve what it has. And the charity that underpinned the ward actually said to me that they truly didn't believe that I would sell that many books. They genuinely didn't, and they have been astounded by its success. We've had letters from the House of Commons. I've had letters from Kensington Palace. I have a local MP that wants to meet me, and this is just a little self-published book, but it's doing its little bit.
Amazing. Now, fast forwarding a bit, seeing Sorrelle healthy, living life, and world champion.
Yeah.
Give us a bit of information on that.
Yeah, so that was really quite bizarre. So Sorrelle's younger sister Olivia does martial arts and is very good at it and does all of the combat that's involved. Sorrelle is a little bit more of a delicate flower, and so Sorrelle does the display kata version of it. But because Olivia managed to qualify for the World Championships in Niagara Falls, Sorrelle was able to go with her. And so they both competed. Olivia, bless her, got thumped a little bit, but managed to come away with a bronze medal from the World Championships. And then Sorrelle, as I watched on YouTube from all those miles away, won a gold and is now a world champion and will be forever. And actually collected her gold medal on her 11th birthday. 10 years earlier on the ward, I was holding this little baby in my arms as she's going through leukemia. It's just a remarkable transformation. And she will have issues and complications in later life, but thankfully the cancer is gone.
What sort of feelings do you have when you sort of picture those two memories together? Sorrelle, you just heard the news, and current Sorrelle world champion.
Yeah, it brings a lot of emotion. I'm known for being quite emotional anyway at the best of times, and it's difficult for me sometimes to articulate it without it getting really quite emotional. It was the worst of times and the best of times, and yet the irony is that on that ward, through those 3 years that we spent on there, we became a better family, we became better people, and all of the kids on that ward, they leave that ward with something that I can't explain, but there is something about them that when you are in their company and in their presence is different. And so as I look back to 10 years ago, and I look to where she was in Niagara Falls, I'm blessed that that's been able to happen. I'm blessed that we live in a modern world where there is such a phrase as living with your cancer. That was never a phrase when I was growing up, because you didn't. And so, those are my overriding thoughts. I'm proud of my daughter. I think she's a remarkable young woman, with a strength and a fortitude that I could only have dreamt of having at her age. And she very much is the reason that Sorrelle is still here, quite aside from the remarkable Professor Wynne and all of the team at the hospital.
And bringing it to City now, how important is it that City are bringing the trophy out, meeting families, people like yourself?
I think it's a remarkable thing that they're doing. I didn't even know it was a thing. I remember watching them win this thing in 1976 as a small boy with my father. I think being able to put smiles on people's faces, it's Manchester City doing their little bit, and as I said earlier, if everybody did a little bit and we had it all together, just imagine what this place could really be.
And then last question, what's it like sharing your love for City with you and Sorrelle?
It's great, and I'm delighted that she enjoys it. She enjoys makeup and shopping, I have to say, but Manchester City has a part to play there. There is a link, and it's just really wonderful that given that some of the City players were there 10 years ago, that to have that circle complete as Sorrelle is as healthy as she can be now, is a wonderful testament to Manchester City and what they do in the community, actually.
How did it feel seeing the Carabao Cup?
It's exciting because obviously it comes to the hospital and it's obviously where I was, so...
Nice. And how excited were you to see it again after all these years?
Quite excited.
Amazing. And can you tell us a little bit about when you first started supporting Man City?
It was when they came into the hospital and we said, do you want a picture? And my grandpa, he said he wanted me to get one because he was a massive City fan. So I decided to get in it, and then that's where it all started.
And can you remember the players that you saw that day?
Aguero, and there's one other.
And do you have a favourite Manchester City player?
Haaland or Nico.
Nice, nice, same. Now, tell me about your sport, because someone told me you're a world champion.
So I do kata for martial arts, and my sister does the contact version. And we've just been to Niagara Falls in October, and I got a gold world medal and my sister got a bronze. But I actually collected it on my birthday.
It's a great birthday present.
Yeah.
What do you like about that sport? What makes you want to keep doing it?
Because it's enjoyable, the teachers are nice, I don't know, they're just really nice.
Just fun.
Yeah.
And when you became world champion
Yeah.
and they gave you a gold medal, what was that feeling like?
It was like, I was quite surprised, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what is it like having moments like this where you can share, your family and Manchester City all together?
It's quite fun, but yeah.
And what would you, if there was other little girls out there who had gone through something similar, what would you say to them? Would it be something like, keep going,
Yeah.
sky's the limit? What would you say?
Keep going because you don't know what's going to happen, and it might well as be a good thing, or it might not be the best, but
Amazing. Great. That's it? What have you done?
Is there anything else you want to say, Sorrelle? No? All good?
You sure?
Sorrelle, do you want to say how amazing your grandpa in the book is?
no.
No, you don't. No, you don't. No, it's good.